Okay, that is close enough to 3 o'clock. Good afternoon, TBE bowlers and friends. Just wanted to do some tournament announcements. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's healthy and all that good jazz. Just wanted to give you updates as far as I am aware of it. Welcome to our little discussion here. Please send me all the questions you want in regards to this. We're just going to talk about the state of the tournament, state of the bowl, state of bowling in general. Going to be as brief as I can, but I do want to let everyone know what's been going on as far as we're concerned. Let me take this banner off here because it's now are here. We're all here. Let's see, take that off there. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Go ahead again, leave your comments, questions, and we'll start the official discussion at 3, which will be in about 1 minute. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? I see some people already here watching. Again, thank you to our sponsors. As always, I'm surrounded by the wonderful gear and apparel from Strike 12 Creations and Brunswick Bowling, our sponsors. Wearing my new Brunswick shirt, the Matrix. When we get a chance to meet each other and we can get close enough, I want to show everybody all of the. It's Matrix design, it's very cool, but at the same time, all of the little prints that you think are very Matrix-like are all retired bowling balls from Brunswick. So I mean, like, you just have basically the whole list of everything that has been discontinued or all the great Brunswick bowling balls that I remember, and then tons more. So I mean, it's a really cool shirt, really cool print. Thank you to Bob at Strike 12 Creations. Don't forget, if you're interested in getting a mask from Strike 12 Creations, he's going to be selling these now. They're very nice. If you didn't see the last video, I have kind of a large face, and it still fits quite comfortably, and it's very soft. Good elastic on it, and I've been using it wherever I go. Use it to bowl over at Saddleback last week, and it was very comfortable. So again, thank you to our sponsors. Okay, so the state of the tournament. Actually, we'll start with the state of bowling in general. Is Orange County is very diverse in its opinion on how they're going to be opening, and I've been talking to La Habra, and they basically have lots of different things that they have to go through. Governor says it goes down to the local level. I think if any of you saw the press conferences, that's kind of how it works. Same as the president says something, but it's all dependent on the governors of the state, and then the states say certain things, but it's all dependent on the mayors and the officials of Orange County. So La Habra is right now, from what I hear, is they want to open on the 1st. That's their plan. That's what they hope to do. But it still has to go through proper channels with the CDC and the safety officials. And I've heard there will be a meeting this week in the coming days where they're going to discuss opening, or the possibility of opening, and safety, keeping that all in mind. And we'll get a more definitive answer. But their hope is that they're going to open next week. So we're praying that everyone's going to be all safe, but we'll be able to bowl as well. So that being said, different areas have different rules. So if you've noticed, Saddleback, I believe, was the first place in Orange County that opened its doors, and they had private groupings and stuff, and they had lots of rules and stuff. They were the first. I believe Lake Forest is now open. I've heard Limbrook has plans to open. And I guess they're all independent. I mean, they're governed and making their safe decisions. So everything's slowly working towards opening. However, we're waiting for the official decision, and it should be in the coming days that we'll know definitely. That being said, it is our hope that we'll have a tournament on the 14th. But there's other avenues for that. Like the reason just a little water. The reason that we had a tournament on the 14th and we booked it in February was because we had scheduled the 28th, but a junior event took had they had double booked. La Habra double booked us, and so we had to move our date. But now, with all of everything that's going on, all junior events had been canceled for, I believe, the entire year. So that date is completely open. They were supposed to have the whole house, so that possibly could be, if there's no opening, we would be able to probably move to that date. I've talked to the bowl, and they kind of said that that would be possible, depending on many things. If we're not able to have a tournament on the 14th. Sorry. But so that is a possibility that we might have a tournament there on the 28th. But our hope is to have it on the 14th. So that being said, I've been sitting with my wife and the sponsors, and we've been working on different things as far as format, keeping in mind our two main things that we want to keep in mind are the safety of the bowlers, and with everything being closed for so long, we want to make sure that all of the houses across the county and the state are able to still function as normal as possible, because they've been closed for so long. We want them to still have business, not just tournament bowlers and stuff. And so we've kind of reworked the format a little bit. So these are not official format changes. That will be dependent on whether the bowl says it's okay for me to or approves my adjustments. But these are all keeping in mind the safety of the bowlers, and making sure that we have as much space or as little space as possible to open up more space for any other bookings or what have you for La Habra 300. So our first main thing is we would like to open up 2 squads. We're gonna have 2 squads. Times for the squads are open to that. We'd have to figure out exactly if we wanted to have, say, like maybe open check-in a little early before the bowl opens, which might not be an impossibility to do, and have a really early squad, like the moment everything, very early squad, and then like a somewhat normal start time that we would normally have, like a 10, kind of do something like that. So anyway, 2 squads. We would have to cap it. And this is all, like, I'm not sure that I could say we would have to cap it, because I don't know for sure. However, keeping in mind everything that's been going on and how they have to have capacity limitations, I am setting all of my judgments and rulings and stuff based on the fact that we will probably have to have a limited amount of space. We have 32 lane center. If we're going every other pair for a tournament, that leaves us 8 pairs. So we're gonna have an 80 bowler max with the 2 squads, $40 bowlers max per squad. So it'd be 5 to a pair. I may be able to do 6 to a pair. That would open that up a little bit more, but but I have to get a clarification and an approval on that move from the bowl. All of these are still up in the air, but this is what I've been working on for the last month. Let's see. To answer Joe's question, that I would love to do it, but there's so many factors that we don't know how many people are affected financially for these for the foreseeable future. I myself am having a little bit of an issue with that myself. So I don't want to put a financial burden on anybody. I know people want to bowl, but I don't know if they can afford to bowl so many times in a month, which is why I've decided not to have multiple events right now every month. I'm going to be just extending the season. So instead of an 11 event season over the course of the year, it's going to extend through to probably March. And then we would kind of get back on track. I might space out the events a little closer next year so that we get a little closer to the end of the year for when we end that year, and then we'll be back on track. So it would be a slow progression, but I don't want to overburden people with too many events, given that we don't know how everybody's doing financially. That's my main concern about that. So as far as the spacing with the squads, my idea is we're going to have the first squad will bowl on either the odd or even pairs, 1, 3, 5, 7. Sorry, 1 and 2, and then it would be 5 and 7, and then it would go 9 and 10, and it will work that way. So it'd be the first pair, the third pair, the fifth pair. And then we would have our second squad, and they would bowl on the other pairs that were not bowled on. So that would be on the second pair, the fourth pair, the sixth pair, all the way down that way. That would do two things. That would give everybody in their group space, still have space, and it would allow myself and the cleaning personnel, porters, and what have you, to clean every pair that was not being used in the mind of keeping everybody safe. So we'd be able to we should be able to do that as you're bowling, and it would save us time, and we would just be able to get everything going smoother. So that's my plan on that. Again, for anybody that's just joining us, these are all not official. These are all dependent on what the bowl approves or does not approve of. These are things that I want to do, keeping the bowl in mind and everybody's safety, to keep everybody safe and make sure that the bowl still has lanes if for whatever they need to do, because we want them to be financially stable as well. We want them to get back on track. As I said, 5 bowlers to a pair. That could be 6, depending on how the meetings go next week. Pairs being clean. We already talked about that. The thing that we're going to have to do, and I'm doing this because I feel that to be truly safe or feel safe, because there's a lot of bowlers that want to bowl, but also there's another percentage of bowlers that they really want to bowl, but they don't want to, that they're afraid of group activities and stuff. And everybody has their own opinions on these. For the purposes of our tournament, what we're going to do is we're going to have no moving lanes. We're not going to move lanes in qualifying. Mike, I will get to face masks in a bit, but yes, we're not going to be moving pairs in between games. That is my idea, and I think that would keep, I personally think it would slow the tournament down, because what I would like to do still for everybody's, health benefits and what have you, to in between games, I would, if you had to move, I would feel obligated to clean the pairs for you. And I just don't see that time-wise being feasible. So this will not affect side pots at all, but it's going to be, my plan is to have everybody stay on the pair you are assigned to. So that is one of the changes there. It's a big change. But I think for this time, since it's, we're all trying to be careful, but we all really want to bowl. I see these tournaments that are going on and they're just filling up. So I know everybody wants to be out there, and I want you to be out there. I want to be out there, but I also want everybody to be healthy and keep safe practices. And we don't want anything bad happening from these things. So who knows what is going on in the other tournaments? I haven't really followed them too much, but this is what I think is going to be the safest way that we can have a good event, have a fun event, and have a safe event. So these are I've still got more, so bear with me. Thank you for joining us. Mike will not have anybody shaking temperatures, just because I don't know how to facilitate something like that. And what I will probably have is I'm going to have notation. Basically, I'll go to the bottom, because that was the last thing I wanted to talk about. So if you're sick, showing symptoms related to the symptoms shown in people diagnosed with COVID-19, or have been ordered to be on self-quarantine due to an evaluation or diagnosis, please do not attend the event. It's just as simple as that. Also, we'll probably have, I don't know if you've ever, people that go to hospital, they have that checklist. Like, if you can answer no to all these things, we don't have to go through other paperwork or anything. I might have something at the check-in table where you have to make sure that you're clear of all of these, basically check all these things off before we can talk about you bowling the tournament. So I'm keeping that in mind as well. So let's see. So I already talked about the not moving. We're gonna, to make sure that that's the most fit, because I know people say, like, lane topography and stuff. We kind of all have to deal with this situation together. So there are, we all have bad pairs, and we all have bad, what have you, experiences on certain pairs. But we all enjoy bowling, and I think, like, if you know that you're having a difficult pair, you have 3 whole games now to figure out that pair, and I think you can turn that into a positive as you bowl, just knowing that you're not going to be going anywhere for 3 games. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, I have a lot of stuff here. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a blind draw for lane assignments. So when you come in, you're going to, I'm probably going to have a grid. Bob Drake suggested this, and I think it's a good idea. We're going to have a grid with numbers. So contact purposes, you basically point to, like, say, a C7, and Jen's going to be there. She'll draw a card, and that'll be your lane assignment, through qualifying. So we'll have that. You don't have to pull the card. You can just kind of point to a grid. I thought it was a pretty good idea, something I never thought of. Bowlers will be required to wear a face mask during check-in and whenever they leave their assigned lanes. So all of the common areas, I believe, is the correct term. So you're on the concourse. When you're on your designated pair, you can wear a mask. I would wear a mask myself, but it will not be required. It will be required anytime you leave your bowler's area, which is another reason why I don't want to be moving pairs for the qualifying round, because everybody's going to be off with the mask, on with the mask, off with the mask. It's just going to be, it's going to be a little chaotic, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to deal with any situations in regards to that. So when I was bowling at Saddleback during the open play, I had to wear a mask everywhere but my designated lane. And I didn't have a problem with that. I still wore my mask because this thing is actually breathable and very nice. But if you're uncomfortable with that while you bowl, you're welcome to not wear it while you're bowling on your pair. Any more comments right near? Let's see. Yep. Yeah, we got that, Richard. We did take care of that. And Marlo agreed. So all this new technology is just I'm still working with it. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, but it's all fresh to me. I'm just trying to make things work. So we talked about the mask, the 6-foot distancing. I'm gonna have every time I go to a grocery store and do the shopping and stuff, I'm picking up as many hand sanitizers as I can. I'm up to about 8. I think I have 8. So there will be sanitizers on deck. I saw Andre, the Ventura Scratch tournament director. He was talking about pens or pencils and having them sanitized. That was something I did not think about, and I think that's smart. So what I will be doing is I will be sanitizing all of our pens, and I will ask people as you take a pen, you don't leave a pen, you just take it and it's your pen. So we won't have to worry about sanitizing and stuff. That you'll just have a pen. I've got boxes of them. They're not expensive, but take a pen. You get a free pen for coming down to the TBE. Let's see. We talked about CDC. I talked about that. Yeah, I think that's it. Now, what else that I would like to talk about is I worked on format changes. And this was mainly to ensure the social distancing space and helping the bowl have lanes, because we have, our last event was 88 bowlers, something like that. It was our biggest yet. But when we broke down, if we were to have a breakdown, not a breakdown, but a cut that would keep 32 bowlers on the field, they would have to be spread out if we were on pairs, and we would take the whole house. And I figured out a way to do that would be to bowl on our matches two ways. One, I would change the cut a little bit. We'd still have 32 bowlers, but there will be, this is my, again, if you're just joining us, this is these are format changes that I have proposed, and they're still pending approval from La Habra 300. So I want to make sure that that is everyone's aware of that, because these are ideas I've thought of for like the last month, and but they're not official. I will let you know officially. But since we're so close to the 14th, I wanted everybody to kind of be aware that we're still working on the 14th. It could be the 28th, but that date is also available to us, I've heard. Anyway, so we're still, like, let's say we have 80 bowlers. If we're at full capacity, we'll still be taking the top 32. And by my format change, this is how it will work. The top 8 bowlers, the top 8 qualifiers are going to sit out. And again, thank you for your comments. Please leave your comments here and help me help the tournament function smoothly and big, and like let's make it another great event, because the last event we had was our biggest one yet, and I'd like to keep that pace going because it was a lot of fun. So anyway, the top 8 qualifiers, and this is my plan, will sit out the opening round. Now, so there's going to be 24 bowlers left. The 24 bowlers are going to be divided, and I've already set up a grid for it and the ranking system. The top 24 are going to be broken up into groups of 3, and it'll be determined by your seeding. And we're going to bowl elimination matches 3 to a lane across 8 lanes, every other lane. And it's only going to be single lane matches. Single lane, you're not going to be on a pair. Yeah, so you're going to be, for example, we're going to have, let's say, the 14th seed, the 22nd seed, and the 30th seed. They're going to bowl one game. The high score will advance to the next round, and it will be played on lane 3. Then you're going to have a match on lane 5 consisting of 3 bowlers. High score advances. So you're going to have 24 bowlers. That's going to cut to, or there'll be 8 winners. And then those 8 winners are going to be put into the round of 16, where they're going to meet the top 8 qualifiers. So then we'll have a round of 16. Also single lane, because now what happens, then we thought about this a lot. We was like, oh, well, we can go back to pairs. We can't go back to pairs because we've bowled already one game on one lane and broke down that lane. And to keep lane integrity even, we need to keep that going. And so we're going to have top 16 matches, 8 matches on the opposite lanes that were not used in the first round. So all of the, for example, all of the first round bowlers are going to be on 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. And then the round of 16 will be on 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So this does 2 things. Well, it maintains the space, the social distancing space. And again, we'll be able to clean the lanes, all the touch points and stuff. We'll figure out exactly how many touch points are important to everybody, and we'll be cleaning touch points like that. Give it a chance to clean while the other lane is bowling. And then, but the main thing it does is it opens up half the house for La Habra 300 bowl. And that's very important to me because we don't want to take up the whole house. I mean, we want if they have set in place plans to have open play and have an infrastructure for running open play while we're having our tournament, I would like to give them as much space as possible. And that's, I think, important that we all keep in mind for all events, because we wouldn't be anywhere if we didn't have the bowling centers, and bowling centers are dropping left and right. And we don't want that to happen. We want them to stay financially stable, and they've been off for 100 days. So we don't want we don't want to take any business from them, but we also want a tournament. And I know that everybody still wants to have bowling as a part of their life, and this is, I think, one of the safer ways we can do that. I've set 2 other formats depending on if we don't get a full house. That format that I just explained to you is if we get 60 bowlers up to our full capacity, which is 80. I also have set up a similar tournament format if we have 36 to 59 bowlers, and that's that will take the top 20, and top 2 are going to sit out. Then we'll have our still 3 to a lane match for the top 18. That's going to break to 6. We'll add the top 2. We'll have a top 8. There's going to be 1 less game in that one because there's going to be almost half the bowlers. But so I have the format set for that. I have a format set up for 21 to 35, and I have a format set up for 14 to 20. I don't think we're going to need to use any of those format options the way that everybody's been setting up to bowl, but I always like to be prepared. Most of you know this already. Pardon me. Mouth is very dry. So anyway, this has been open to questions. You're free to ask me anything you want about anything, really. I mean, the format is kind of drastic, but this is just till we get back on our feet. So I'm here for any sort of questions, comments. I ran through most of this format with Ken Maxey. And he's kind of my divining rod. Like, if Ken wants to bowl the tournament with that format, there's like a 90% population of bowlers that will be okay with it as well. So thank you to Ken for giving me kind of an approval, but like more like making me feel like it wasn't a bad idea to do the things or change the things that I was doing. Cause I know Ken's very has strong opinions about how he wants to enjoy a tournament, and he speaks for a lot of bowlers, I believe. So anyway, that's about it. That's the update on that. Again, also, if at the event we said masks will be required in the common area, if you want to have me purchase some of these masks, I can have a certain amount of them at the tournament. If you want to buy one at the tournament to wear, I would probably, whatever I paid for them is what I would sell them to you for. So I'll let you know. And yeah, because I don't want to buy a bunch if no one's going to buy them off me. I love mine. So let me know in the comments if you want one yourself. Let's see. Any rule changes? Well, I mean, USBC has approved the use of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, on your equipment. And I believe it was only rubbing alcohol. And that is basically for sanitation purposes, I'm assuming. If USBC says it's okay, we've already established that we are going to be having, we're already going to be bowling on 1 lane. So that's one of the rules. I would say that the other rule would be fair as well. So to keep safe, just you can use that. Yeah, rubbing alcohol would be allowed. Oh, and don't forget about that. Thank you, Ken. That's USBC. We follow a lot of USBC rules, but we do not. We are not sanctioned by USBC, and I would just hope everybody follows the rules. Because I mean, why would you have a ball with weight holes just for tournaments? So I'm hoping that everybody self-polices themselves and does the right thing, because then you're going to go to league and you're going to have no bowling ball if it. But we got temp rules allow league bowling on 1 lane on our scores. We were just talking about that. So I would allow those rules. Just 1 for safety, and then 1 because it helps the bowl preserve some open play space, because we only have 32 lanes to work with, so we like to give them as many lanes as possible. So when we cut to with a full field, when we do our match play, we'll only be taking half the house, and we'll still have everybody still bowling. That's in cut, which would be 32. So I mean, like, that's that gives the bowl 8 lanes if they're going every other lane as well. So it gives them 8 lanes to play with as well. So I mean, I'm trying to find the best solution for that I can. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. Let's see, any other questions, comments? Yeah, but anyway, the weight hole issue is I'm hoping everybody will self police themselves, but we're not going to enforce it only because it's too hard to enforce. We're just running we're running a non-sanctioned tournament. Yeah, I just I don't see us unless you check your equipment. And I know people don't want to. If we did that, we could totally do that. If I got a consensus and a majority of people that wanted to do a ball check, we would do that. Check-in would be 2.5 hours, and I don't think we want to do that. So, yeah, I'm holding everybody accountable to themselves in that regard. So just do the right thing, and just let's follow the rules. So, okay, with that, you can leave more comments. Thank you for all the comments you said here. Leave some comments, and I will get to them as soon as they come in. But aside from that, I think we are done. I want to thank again our sponsors, Brunswick Bowling, Strike 12 Creations. I hope to see you on the lanes and not in another video where we're giving stuff away, but it'll be what it'll be. And I'm glad to hear everybody's doing well. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you at our next video. So take care. Bye-bye. Any minute.